Hey everybody, QueenComixWife here, and I'm making my second cooking video today. Today we are making my rustic bread video. This bread is amazing. It's great for making sandwiches, making grilled cheeses. I also make croutons with it, and then I also let it go stale a little bit and make my breadcrumbs with it as well. This recipe is very easy, very delicious. My kids love making it. So for this recipe, you're gonna need 3.5 cups of bread flour, a half teaspoon of yeast, a teaspoon of salt, and a tablespoon of honey. I started making my own bread because I got tired of buying it at the grocery store and spending all that money on bread, and you don't even know what they really put in it. So I decided to start making my own. I do make this bread twice a month, and I also make my French bread, which I'll make another time, at least once a month. My kids love making this bread. It's delicious. It's very sweet, if depending on how much honey you put into it. And also, it's just great to make different recipes with it and just have fun with my children making this bread and baking it and having a great time together making memories. You're also going to need a Dutch oven for this type of bread, so please sit back, relax, enjoy the video, and I hope you enjoy making this bread with your family and friends and making memories as well. So to our bowl, we're going to add 3.5 cups of bread flour. I personally recommend bread flour because bread flour has protein in it, so it's going to make it more of a good texture in your bread, more like a squishy texture. It's going to bring out the nice chewy taste to it. You can use all-purpose flour, but I always say use bread flour. It's the best thing to use when making bread. So after we're done adding our flour to our bowl, which I do have a 5-quart bowl right here. I use my 5-quart bowl because sometimes I make more than one loaf. You're going to add your yeast. Like I said, it's a half a teaspoon of yeast. And then you're going to add a teaspoon of salt. Once you add your salt, you're going to go over to your cabinet. If you have a 2-cup measuring cup that's glass, which I do, I use a 2-cup glass measuring cup. You're going to fill it with water to 2 cups. You're going to put it into your microwave for about a minute. You want to get it to a warm temperature bath water. Then you are going to add a tablespoon of honey into your water. Now, I add a tablespoon and a half because I think the bread is more sweeter with the extra honey. You don't have to do it that way, but that's just how I do it. But I like a little more sweeter taste in my bread, so that's why I do that. So you're going to take your honey with your measuring cup. You're going to measure 1 tablespoon. Like I said, I use a tablespoon and a half. And then you're going to mix it into your warm bath water temperature in your measuring cup. And you're going to just stir it up until it dissolves really well. It doesn't have to dissolve fully, but it has to dissolve enough so you can be able to add it to your flour, not stick everywhere. And everybody, yes, I do wash my hands every single time I do a step. I always wash my hands. I am very germophobic, so I like to keep my hands clean. So you're going to mix your water and your honey together, and then you are going to add it to your flour. Now, I let my yeast sit on my flour with the salt for a few minutes while I am adding everything. I don't mix it all in. I like to keep it there because it activates the yeast a little bit better once you add the water on top. So we're going to add the water to it. And now I'm going to go ahead, and like I said, I clean my hands, and I'm going to mix my flour and water honey mixture together. You're going to mix until everything's incorporated, and it's going to be a very sticky dough. It's going to be very sticky and very stretchy. So you're going to want to keep mixing it until it's all mixed up. And then you go wash your hands because all that dough is still on your hands. The excess dough is on your hands. And then take saran wrap. You're going to wrap your bowl up with saran wrap. And you don't have to do this next step. I do, but I take a warm or a hot piece of cloth with hot water on it, and I put it over the bowl, and I let it sit for 1 whole hour.
1 hour later.
After an hour, you're going to do 10 stretch and folds. I do between 10 and 20, depending on how much I have to get done. So the more you stretch your dough, to me personally, the better, chewier and nice and spongy it's going to be. So I do a lot of stretch and folds when it comes to mine. Stretch and fold is, you just pick the dough up, you fold it over, and you keep stretching and folding, stretching and folding. Now you're going to cover it back up and sit for 1 hour.
1 hour later.
After you let it sit for an hour, you're going to do another 20 stretch and folds is what I usually do, but you can do only 10 if you want to. Like I said, the more you stretch it and fold it, the chewier and better the bread will taste. So me personally, I do about 20, but you're going to let it just do its stretch and folds, and then you're going to wrap it up again and put it the cloth back on for 1 whole hour.
1 hour later.
After your hour is up, you are going to take your Dutch oven at 450 degrees and you are going to put it in and let it preheat all together in the oven, making your Dutch oven very hot. Be careful, please do not take the Dutch oven out without oven gloves, because I made that mistake before. Do not be stupid and grab your Dutch oven and burn your hands. So now I'm going to knead my dough. I add flour to my island, and now I add it on top of the dough because it's very sticky. And I'm just going to keep kneading my dough until I get a nice, good, solid ball that all the air pockets are out and everything, and it looks great. You're going to take your hot Dutch oven, you're going to put parchment paper in it, and you're going to stick the dough into the Dutch oven and cover it with a lid. Once you cover it, you're going to set your oven at it's already set at 450 degrees. So you're going to stick it into the oven at 450 degrees for 30 minutes. After 30 minutes, take off the cap and keep it in the oven for another 10 minutes. And now we have a wonderful rustic bread. I cut it up so everybody can see it. I let it sit for 15 minutes to cool down. But once I cut it up, I'm going to show you. Look how spongy that is. It looks so delicious. And it's great with honey butter. I make honey butter from scratch, and it's amazing. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys had a great time watching this. I love all of you, and I'll be making more videos to come. But have a wonderful day, guys, and I will talk to you guys soon. Thanks so much for watching. Please like and subscribe to the channel and come see me again. Thank you.